All right. What's up, guys? We are
Well,
here today with the episode 4 of Soccer Talk with Lauren. Here's Lauren, her Porto kit.
matching yellow today.
Yeah, here's me. It's like a trip. I don't know which way to move with my R9 high quality background photo to spice things up a little bit,
Really nice. Really
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. Thank you. So how's it going, Lauren? What's up? What
Good, good.
you
I have
watching?
soccer tonight, which is why I'm wearing this jersey in prep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say I don't have any kit on today. I had soccer yesterday. It was a fun game. It's good to be back on the field. A
Yes.
lot of fun games going on lately. I know. I know we talked briefly about Chelsea Liverpool. Did you watch any of that, or did you watch the highlights?
Yeah, I watched pretty much the whole game of it. I didn't plan on it and honestly didn't really even know it was on, but turned on the TV and there it was. And yeah, it exceeded all of my expectations as a neutral. It was very exciting.
It was a perfect match for a neutral.
Yeah.
And I have quite a few like friends and clients who realistically are both Chelsea and Liverpool fans.
Yeah, same.
A massive club. One thing is like that I only had a chance to watch it briefly. One particular like Lukaku's goal that was offside. I
Oh,
only
the
saw
arm offside.
did that look off like that was weird because I only had a chance to see it for one quick second. I didn't get to watch the replay a few times. It didn't really quite look off, but yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
One of those ones where you definitely question the whole like clear and obvious thing.
I felt that way, yeah.
VAR. Like it was literally just his arm. And like, did that piece of his arm really give him the advantage? I don't think so, but there was just so many offsides and like so many goals called off and then so many penalty goals.
Yeah. The shootout was crazy. Well, I talked to a Chelsea supporter and they were just like I don't know, among your circle, like what do people think of Kepa? Obviously, it is what it is, but
yeah, it's funny. One of my friends who's a Chelsea supporter said that the theme of this episode should be why Chelsea is the greatest club in the world.
Okay.
I said I didn't know if we had the material for that, but I'd think about it. But yeah, I mean, you bring this guy on for the sole reason of stopping penalties, and not only does he not stop any penalties, he can't score his own. Like
yeah, it looks bad. You feel for the guy. I mean, the funny thing is though, Liverpool's goalie, the backup, whenever I've seen him, he's been very impressive, and he also makes for like very good memes, which I've used before because he kind of like
penalty was really good too. Like it was not your typically taken goalie penalty where they keep it safe. Like it was a nice shot.
Yeah, no, he's there's something about him. I mean, he'll probably we'll see what happens. It's tough, right? Like if he'll be their number one in like 4 or 5 years or whatever the case may be. It's kind
if he doesn't move on before then, yeah, who knows?
But I give Liverpool credit as well because it's very easy in a final just to go back on saying, okay, like listen, let's just put Allison in. Like, they have so much faith in him. You know what I mean? So that's pretty cool. And yeah, the faith was rewarded. It's a good time to be the guy who cuts my hair, who I absolutely love that guy. He's a Liverpool fan. So yeah, I'm happy for him. It's good stuff.
For sure.
So okay, so I'll say this now. I watched Lazio Napoli. Like, I don't know if you would like look into that at all. That was an insane game. Whoever watched it. I mean, the Serie A, I just want to take a moment to rant on Serie A, and then I'm gonna like let you shine of TFC. But the Serie A title race. I mean, the reality is like with Serie A, like unfortunately, the league is amazing. There's 5 teams in the title race. They're separated by 10 points. So Lazio play Napoli. Lazio is a good team. They're just outside. Like they're not really fighting for the title, but they're decent. And Fabian Ruiz from Napoli scored like an insane finesse that literally went outside the post and back in like the 93rd and a half minute. And it was insane. But like, yeah, as for Serie A, it's like an amazing league. It's more competitive than any of the leagues. But the problem is all the teams, even the best ones, unfortunately, as evidenced by results in the Champions League, primarily, they're just like they're just not the same level.
Right.
Like Liverpool handled, like obviously like Liverpool handles most teams, but they handled Inter pretty easily.
Right.
So
and I mean, just from my limited experience, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but like it seems like there is financial issues like throughout. Like a lot of teams seem to not be able to hold on to like big name players because they just can't pay them.
I think, yeah, I mean, there's going to be people who know more about this than me, but I think it's multifaceted. I think there's the tax rules in Italy are certain way where like there's a certain percentage loss, obviously. And I think the actual, the gross salary or whatever is not as high. So there's like it's kind of like a double whammy there.
Right.
So,
makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so speaking of big salaries, obviously TFC, we have a big salary player coming in. First game of the season, which I'm going to fully admit I didn't watch, but I promise I'm going to like do better for these shows.
Okay, I didn't watch all of it either.
I'm going to do better for these shows. I did go on MLS website. And I saw they had the Crescito article. Like,
I was going to bring that up. Yeah.
What's the latest on that?
I mean, it seems like it's a pretty much done deal. Like when Fab Romano was like reporting on it, it's, I guess, pretty good.
Right. Yeah.
And apparently the thought is that he would join this month, which is exciting, like not wait till the end of the season, like Insigne is doing. So, I mean, if we can get someone to bolster the defense soon, I don't think that's a bad thing at all, because even just from what I watched of the first game and the highlights, like the defense didn't look great. They really didn't. Like Mavinga, who really should be like our veteran center back, was every pass he made, it seemed like it was going directly to Dallas. And then with like Schaffelberg and Jaquil on the wings, like it's kind of a new role for both of them to some extent, and they just didn't look comfortable.
I mean, the good news, you bring a guy like that. I mean, what I know of Crescito, I mean, he's left-footed like you. That I can tell you. He's good. He's good at passing, which is not always a characteristic that I think defenders have. And I know that he can play. I mean, you're more familiar with me. Like, are we bringing him as a center back or left back? Because he's tall. He's like 6 feet tall, but he can play left back and he can play center back.
Right. I mean, I have no idea what the plan would be. Right. I would like a left back since we got rid of all of ours pretty much. That's definitely a place that we're missing people. And then if you could take one of Schaffelberg or Jaquil out of the defense, I don't think that's a bad thing. And also we do have Salcedo now from Tigres, and he's looked great. He's looked really solid. So I mean, hopefully it only gets better.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Well, hopefully we do bring him. I mean, I definitely watched him quite a bit. He definitely, like, not the most illustrious defender, but like he'll be a good player in and of himself, but also, he's going to bring that like tactical defensive experience, you know what I mean? That Italian, that calcio defending.
Yeah. And I feel like there's obviously concerns because he's 35 or so already. Like, MLS is a physical league. Not everyone that comes over from Europe can really handle that. But hopefully, like, the experience that he does have will kind of make up for what he may no longer have in like the physicality, speed, all that stuff.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, because he played both left and center back, he probably has like above average athletic capabilities, but at 35, it's like harder to say. I mean, he's kind of like Maldini in that. I don't know if he's on that level, but Maldini played right or left back as well as center back. I think it was left back. So that's kind of cool. Speaking of, Mexican league, I know, like, Herrera doesn't play in the Mexican league now. He plays for Atletico, but Houston Dynamo signed Hector.
I saw that.
Herrera. Wait, do I have his name right? It's Hector Herrera, right? No. Oh shoot, yeah. Or that might have been the coach. It's I'm so annoyed.
They did sign a big name player, and he's coming in
Herrera from Atletico Madrid. Yeah. He's a good player. He's like a good box to box CM. And like, if you play for Atletico, you got like a lot of heart. Okay, I'm actually so annoyed right now. I can't believe, because like I'm very familiar with this player. I can't believe I might have screwed up his name. I have to just Google it real quick.
We're very prepared on this.
It's Hector Herrera. It's Hector Herrera. You know why I got confused? I think there was a coach for America or for the national team.
Yeah.
Also Herrera, and I wasn't sure if I was confusing them. Anyway, cool. All good. Any other TFC transfer news? Like, anything happened with Bellotti? I know that was like in the air for a bit.
I just don't think there'd be the space at this point. Like, I mean, MLS is still a salary cap league, right? Like, I don't think so, especially if Crescito happens. Anything could happen. Who knows? The MLS rules don't make sense to many, and there always seems to be loopholes. So who really knows? But I think this is probably like the bulk of the team. I did read today, there's like rumors. I don't know if it's rumors or, how legit it is, but apparently like Richie Larea is already frustrated with his lack of playing time over in England. And I mean, I get it, but at the same time, like, you're going over to a team that's already doing really well. They have an established person in your position. Like, you're not just going to walk onto the team when that person is playing very well and the team is playing well. I mean, I get the frustration, but what, like, that's, what you kind of
Yeah,
have to expect. Even like Eustachio, now that he's gone to Porto, like he's playing, but definitely not to the same amount that he was playing on his last team. So there are rumors, or a rumor, that he wants to come back on loan to TFC,
right.
which I just think is so chaotic. Like,
It-
I don't even know. If anything, like maybe he should have gone on loan to England first and seen if he was getting any playing time. I don't
right.
know if there was maybe like not as much transparency when the deal was signed. Who knows? But you have to, I guess I can understand from his point of view, there's probably a bit of frustration.
Yeah, I mean, I know Forest, like Nottingham Forest, has some good young players, and obviously the championship they're in the playoff spot. So for the
Yeah.
manager, I guess it's a tough one, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's not so easy to bring new players in. I would have thought. I mean, look, the reality is, I mean, this is a classic story. Like, new player comes in, first few months doesn't go well, but ends up settling in and
Right. Yeah.
doing really well. I mean, Buchanan has been playing. I haven't unfortunately watched as many matches as I like, because I end up just like watching Serie A or bigger matches. But I know he's been playing regularly for
Yeah.
Bruges, which is awesome. Of all the years this year, I think in the Belgian league, there's like a random team like Union Saint Gillois, and I'm not sure what their deal is, but they're way ahead because Bruges
Oh,
usually
no.
dominates.
Right.
So it's of all the years, like he probably
Like the Leicester City run in the Premier League a few years ago.
yeah. I don't know. Sometimes how there's like a backstory with these random clubs who just like
Yeah,
come
for
out of
sure.
nowhere. Like I don't know if it's a case of like they had a surge of investment. Obviously, I could have Googled it, but it's more fun just to not like know anything
Right.
that we're talking about, right? So it's better that way.
Yeah.
But but yeah,
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
pretty interesting. But I would have thought like Richie has like that side, like that aggression, which I think will suit well
For
English
sure.
football. So we'll see.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure if he bides his time, he'll get his chance. But at the same time, like I understand if the team is working well, why is the coach gonna risk that when the games that they're playing all clearly mean something, right? Like they're
Right,
playing for a purpose. So I don't know. But at the same time, like you move your whole family over,
right.
you leave a massive offer on the table from TFC. Like
Oh, there was
I
a
can
massive
see
offer, eh? I
they
wasn't aware.
were willing to make him the highest paid um left back, I think, or defender in the league. Like
Yeah,
I think it was his position,
yeah,
not defender overall, but
which
like
is
it would
which
have been
is
massive.
reasonable. Or
Given
yeah,
that like a few years ago when he joined TFC, like he had almost fully fallen out of MLS in general. Like Orlando wasn't playing him. So
right.
to have that trajectory in a matter of years is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, it's also the funny thing. It's also relevant for Canada as well. I mean,
Mhm.
it's better if
Yeah.
he's playing, obviously. So
Yeah,
we'll
absolutely.
see what comes of that. In
Yeah.
terms of I know it's early days. It's been one game. You mentioned the defense, but in terms of like the early days of the Bob Bradley era
Yeah.
and the rest of the performance, yeah, what are your thoughts? Because you are
I'm
I know you're
I'm
gonna watch
still
them.
I'm optimistic. I like make no bones about it. I'm a Michael Bradley stan, so because of that, I
Yeah,
love his dad.
yeah,
But in all seriousness, like I do think that Bob will be able to do good things with the club. I think the front office has kind of backed off a bit in letting the coaches have their way again. And the fact that Bob is also like technical director or sporting director, um, gives him more ability to make actual impactful decisions. I think he has a history of like doing really well with coaching younger players. So I
right.
do think like you're gonna see a lot of the younger guys getting a fair shot this year, which a lot of people have complained like wasn't really happening under previous coaches. And
Yeah,
so I think that mixed with the big names that are coming in, I think there's reason to be excited. I don't know if it will look good right away. And I don't know if once it finally clicks, if it'll be too late to like really make a run or anything, but
yeah.
I'm
When Lorenzo
optimistic.
rolls in, that's definitely going to be.
Right. Because like
He did nice. He did very nice against Lazio. He scored a very nice goal,
right.
and I mean, he could leave Napoli as a champion of Italy. Like that's the nature of it. Like the Serie A title race is
Yeah.
crazy, and Bob certainly is very good at giving young players a chance. I recall him playing Michael all the time when he was coaching the U.S. team.
Yeah.
When Michael had a lovely full head of hair, he had nice hair on him back in the day.
He
I
did
gotta
have nice
say,
hair.
he had
Yeah.
really nice hair. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Do you prefer bald Michael, or since you're a Michael fan? I know this is not
I
as
mean,
popular.
I've only known the bald Michael, like that's
Okay.
when he became like Toronto.
Right. You ever Google Michael Bradley with hair? Like I've
Oh,
done
I've
that.
seen it. No, I know
Okay,
what he
yeah, I
looks
do that.
like,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
just like bald Bradley is Toronto's Bradley.
Right. Okay, that's fair. Like he was, yeah, he was bald. Like, not that this
Oh,
is super relevant, but yeah, he was bald when he
yeah.
played for
Random.
Kievo. When he played, he was bald when he played for Kievo. He was bald when he played for Roma. So like I remember him back then. So yeah, yeah, maybe for Mönchengladbach. And Hurrienvin, I think he used to play for in the Dutch league. I probably butchered that pronunciation.
Good hair doesn't
So.
run in the family. It's clearly a family thing. So
Yeah. No, it's all good. It's all good. No, it's funny. I had to bring that up. So okay, so honestly, like, who do we have next? I need to increase my TFC fandom several levels, like just to keep up, and I'm going to. But who do we have next? And like, yeah, when's the game? Are you going?
yeah, so the game's on Saturday, home opener. I was literally just panicking because I'm like, are we playing the Red Bulls? Which I'm pretty sure we are, but I'm just gonna confirm that. Clearly, I'm very prepared as well.
Right.
Yes, the Red Bulls.
That concerns you?
No.
Oh, okay.
I think it'll be fine. Like, I'm interested to see. I honestly didn't follow. Honestly, last year was a tough year to be a TFC fan.
Right.
Both because we couldn't go to most of the games, and two because they were so horrendously bad. So because TFC wasn't doing well, it wasn't very fun for me to watch other MLS games. Whereas like typically in other seasons, I'll watch like a lot of games, especially like on the weekend or during the week if I'm not doing anything. I have no problem putting a game on. So I'm definitely going into the season a little bit more blind on how other teams did last year and if they'll really be consistent.
Yeah.
I don't know. Could go either way. Like I feel like the home opener always is kind of like a little boost. It'll be great for the team to have like a full stadium.
It's gonna be a warm weekend too, eh? Like it's like the weather is warming up here.
Yeah.
I saw a picture. I saw a picture of the pitch on Twitter. Like it wasn't looking very good or whatever. Did you see that?
It does not look good. It's not good. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Like we were apparently supposed to have a state-of-the-art hybrid pitch, world class techs that work on it, but it did not look good at all. There's no blaming the Argos for the state of the pitch right now.
Yeah. And what I actually, before I forget, I literally almost forgot I was going to ask. It's funny you said like, so during the year, I mean, I love MLS because realistically, I mean, obviously there's European soccer right now, so that's like the priority. But I love watching MLS like in between the seasons, right? Because it's great. And like whether it's TFC, like if it's a decent game, I have no issue. Like, so would you sooner like if you're, if you have an app, like you can choose any game and it's like the night, and like let's say TFC's not playing, would you sooner just watch an MLS game to see like what's going on, or what? Like, what is your, if it's a Saturday night, you have to watch soccer game that's already been played. Like, what would you choose? It's actually good. I'm genuinely curious about the
like over versus like a European league.
Yeah, so let's say there's like I don't know, it's like a Champions League match. There's like a relevant MLS match. Like let's just say it's hyper relevant.
I would probably watch an MLS match over like a European game, like especially if it's on replay. Like unless it applies to me and it's like a United game, I'll probably just watch because the MLS has bearing on what happens to TFC too, right? Like you can see how they're doing, especially when there's like a race for positions, whatever. Makes more sense. And also, honestly, MLS, like people shit on it because the quality is obviously lesser than Europe. Right. And no one that likes MLS is trying to say that the quality is anywhere on par with the top leagues in the world. Like that's just not the case. Right. But like MLS does have like its own appeal and traits that the other leagues don't have, and I find that it is very watchable and very like it's very entertaining because ridiculous things happen and like very dumb things happen, and that's fun.
No, like I said before, like I was there when Zlatan scored his 500th goal, and that was epic for me because I'm a massive fan of his. Like I mean, I've been watching him for years. I still remember when he left Juventus when they got relegated. That's classic, like because he left.
Oh, I did see a rumor today that Messi is still talking about maybe going to Miami, which is interesting because Miami has been a shit show from the beginning. So it's interesting that he would want to put his boots there. But I guess the Beckham factor is a big thing, right?
Yeah, it's a tough one. Like, I saw a quote today on Instagram where, prime source of soccer, where Lewandowski said basically that Messi is going to have more trouble as he ages than Ronaldo. And it's kind of hard to judge because like, Messi's on PSG and you have like, you have Mbappe and stuff like kind of carrying. It's a different, he doesn't need to necessarily be a star. So it'll be interesting to see if he is on a team where he's by a significant margin the best player.
Right.
So we will, and Miami's been a mess. So,
Yeah.
we'll see what comes of that. It's funny because I've been to Miami a lot of times. Like, I don't know, like, I guess like I don't fancy it like to be like a soccer city. When I go to the parks there in Miami, people are playing. There's massive baseball fields. There's people playing basketball. It's not a soccer city, but like I can't go to like South Beach Park on noon and find a match. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, and the stadium's not even in Miami. Like it's in Fort
Right.
Lauderdale, I think. So I mean,
yeah, it's a whole other issue. Yeah.
Right. Like I think often teams that don't have a stadium in their like core or at least like in the city limits struggle
Right.
because there's not as much of a connection, right? It doesn't feel the same.
Right. And well, Chicago is going ham, signing DPs, trying to rectify that as well. Because just thinking of cities that have a stadium, they signed Shaqiri. I know they signed someone else too, and I can't think of who. Or they're looking at somebody else.
Right.
But
yeah.
It's fun though. I love that. I love that when these players come in. You know what I mean? It's just like it's exciting.
And because you don't really know too, like, I mean, MLS had the reputation for a long time of just being like a retirement league. And some of these players come in and they do amazing. Like they tear it up. And then some come and they go out with like a whimper. And it's kind of sad that these huge big name players that played in like world class leagues come to MLS and just like kind of fade away, like Pirlo being one of them. Like he really did. It was a sad end to his career. I mean, and TFC was like a big part of that. Like knocking them out of the playoffs in embarrassing fashion. But it's just that's why I like when these big name players come because you really don't. It's not a guarantee that they're going to do well, and that's kind of fun.
And my thing has always been, this is actually very relevant to the conversation we had. Like I think like via text, because we're talking about Jovinko, like was on the bench for Sampdoria, and like Jovinko is a great example of someone like some players just are better when they're the best player on an okay team, and some players are really good when they're surrounded. Like so, Pirlo is a good example playing for you. Like when he was younger, I don't think he stood out that much, but then obviously he played for Milan, he played for Inter, played for Juventus. Jovinko, like he's a Juventus product, but he never really did that well for them. But then he went to like Empoli and Parma, I think on loans and stuff. He scored 10, 15 goals, like being like the star. Obviously, we know what he did for TFC.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm really, and I think like psychologically, even just like playing at our level, you know what it's like, right? Like, it's very different to be on a team with good players versus on a team where you're the best player. Like mentally, like it's like fascinating, right? It's a fascinating psychodynamic thing. So on that note, I'm going to put you on the spot with the last question. Are you going to play with us on this Sunday?
Oh God, what time's the game?
It's either 5:30 or 6:30. They're all 5:30 or 6:30.
Okay, I can maybe do it. I'll let you
know. All right, maybe. All right, this is what we're dealing with. All right, okay. All right, well, this is a good episode. Yeah. Any final thoughts you'd like to share with the peeps?
No, I'm excited to get back to BMO. That's about it. I'm excited.
Yeah. You know what? If I improve my video editing and you like get some clips, I can probably put them into some of these future videos. I'm gonna watch. It's Saturday the game.
Yes.
I'm gonna watch it, and that way I can hold even better conversation about it. So
sounds good.
All right. Well, thank you, Lauren. Have fun at your game tonight.
Thank you.
Let me know how it goes.
I will. Have a good night.
All right. Later, guys.